Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Papillon Bengale Rouge. This was a requested video by John Matthew. Not sure if he's an actual subscriber, where he would just coming along and saw my video when it was my scent of the day a few days ago, and I plan on doing a review on this, so I guess I'll make it a little bit sooner. I already have on a couple of scents already, so hopefully that won't interfere with this scent too much. The scent is very strong, it's very powerful, but at the same time very sexy. I'm sorry for some of the rough looks. Took a shower last night and expected to be called at around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. I wasn't called, so I stayed up till about 2. Saw on the bid sheet where the people were moved around. I was supposed to be first out, and then I got moved down to like 7th out, and then 4, and then back down to 7. So I just said, forget it. I'm just gonna, I'm not taking off, but I got put on a different job, so I'm just gonna be working a little bit later tonight. Ironically, I hate, the cold weather, but I would have been pushed up later tonight, and I would rather know when I'm going to work versus, being on call. So anyways, the perfumer of this is Liz Moore's. She made it as a cozy cuddling scent for her cat, Mimi. The scents, not the scent, but the notes include sandalwood, Turkish rose, honey, vanilla, and myrrh. That is on Liz Moore's site. Now, if you go to other places, it'll mention more notes. The most reliable other notes that I could find were on Indigo Perfumery and Fumerie Parfumée. And those notes comprise of orris butter, tonka, oak moss, labdanum, and benzoin. And when I was reading on Liz Moore's site, I was, kind of taken by the fact that she didn't mention more notes. Now, I'm not sure if on her site she listed all the natural notes and left out the synthetic notes. But orris butter is a natural note; it's not a synthetic. So I'm not sure, why that's about it. And one note I didn't find was cinnamon, and I get a lot of cinnamon in this. And kind of have a little bit of the dry down here on my skin. As you can see, it's very oily. And right off the top, I get a lot of cinnamon. Almost like the cinnamon in the fire hot jawbreakers that you can find at the stores. For 50 cents, you can get like 50 of them or whatever. But I get the cinnamon, I get the oak moss, I get the tonka, and I'm not sure if it's the actual benzoin or it's the labdanum or the vanilla or the honey that mixed together and the myrrh, but it really creates one big accord to where you really can't pick out the difference. And I think that that's what happens a lot of times with labdanum, benzoin, vanilla, and myrrh, is that they join together to make an amber accord, as we all know. But, well, maybe some people might not know, but it joins together to make this amber accord. But in this, it's different. It's not so much a sticky amber. It's more of a soft amber. One that would almost come across a little bit suede-y, almost. Not necessarily like a... It's weird. Never really hear dogs bark outside. It's kind of distracting. But the amber in this is not like in Jurassic Park where you see the little amber thing. This is more of a soft, subdued amber. Like I said, it gives off a suede vibe. And then you have the oak moss really in the bottom. Now I know I'm going to mention these other notes as they kind of come about, because I have it right here, have it freshly sprayed. And then I have it on my little jacket. And right off, in the oak moss in this, I'm not sure if it's natural, but it kind of smells natural, honestly. It's compared to old perfumes, and I really love it. And right here is where I really get the sandalwood, to be honest. It isn't on my skin. She claims this to be my source sandalwood, but I get it more so on my jacket than I actually do on my skin. And it's a really soft, really buttery, and the buttery can kind of go back to the orris butter, sandalwood, and I get more of the sandalwood and the orris butter when I spray it right here on my jacket. And the oak moss is more subdued. The labdanum, benzoin, honey, myrrh, vanilla is more toned down, and the cinnamon is more toned down. Now, I know that rose is mentioned in here, and I don't get a predominant rose note. This isn't a red rose. It isn't a green rose. It isn't a pink rose, or really even a white rose or black rose, whatever color roses are out there. I think the rose is more of a supporting note in this to add a bit of feminine nature, more of a feline touch to it. But I really don't get like a strong rose, like a Turkish rose, like you would in other fragrances, or like the Turkish rose is more of a, you can really smell the rose, but in this you can't. And it's kind of nice, really, because I have so many rose fragrances that are rose dominant and not necessarily a supporting note. Now on this napkin here, I get a lot of the honey. I get a lot of the honey, the vanilla, and the cinnamon. I really like it. I do. This fragrance to me is honestly a 9 out of 10 scent. It lasts for a long time. It smells great. My girlfriend likes it. My mom likes it. And I think that Liz done a really good way of portraying that. Man, that is really getting annoying. None of my neighbors have dogs, so it must be someone walking down the street. And she really done a great way of bringing out that warm sunlit cat fur note in here. It doesn't smell like cat litter. It doesn't smell like a stinky cat. It smells like a very clean feline smell. Not even really a cat, because I know that some people don't like cats. If anything, this smells like a tiger almost. Like a tiger, maybe a cougar out in the wild, a mountain lion, a jaguar, a jaguar, a leopard. And it really does, when it starts to go into the dry down, you can really get the idea of a cat just, kind of rubbing up against you as it walks by, or, you're kind of laying down on the couch on a Saturday, in this time of year in the fall where it's cold, when you're not in the sun, but in the sun you can kind of get a nice warm feeling and kind of a break from the weather. And it makes it really nice. And that's what this fragrance is. It is really nice. Now, I know a lot of people compare this to Shalimar. And to be honest, there are similarities, but there's not. There is, but there isn't. Shoot, and that reminds me. Let me go get some of the stuff this fragrance reminds me of. Come around here. Let's grab this bad boy right here. Which one is this? Oops. Don't fall, don't break. Is it this one? Nope. I'll find it one day. Here we go. Let's just grab Shalimar for a reference. Ah, Jesus. Come on. Whew, thank you, God, it didn't break. But this fragrance reminds me of 3 fragrances. And first and foremost, it is Parfums MDCI Chypre Palatine. Now, I think that the reason why this reminds me of Chypre Palatine is because of the vanilla, the labdanum, and the benzoin, along with the oak moss as well. Now, I know that Thierry Wasser and Bertrand Duchaufour are able to extract a real oak moss and put it in their compositions. Now, I'm not sure if Liz does that or if she's talked with them and learned how to, but they're able to actually use real oak moss by their extraction process. And Shalimar. I think the biggest reason why this reminds people of Shalimar, because Shalimar kind of has that inside leg, I guess you could say, feminine smell almost, with powdery nuances and tonka. I also find some iris in here as well. The tonka, the vanilla note in there. But I think that Shalimar is much spicier and much woodier, honestly. I think it is. And then the last that a lot of people don't talk about, and a fragrance that a lot of people don't talk about that I will probably be doing a review on, is Serge Lutens by Fumerie Turque by Serge Lutens. Now this, honestly, is to me a masterpiece of a fragrance. I know that masterpiece is thrown around a lot, but this is a masterpiece of a fragrance. And I think that it reminds me of Bengale Rouge because of the vanilla, because of the labdanum, the benzoin, the myrrh, the tonka, the rose, because the rose in Fumerie Turque is a little bit more prominent than it is in Bengale Rouge. Might as well give Chypre Palatina a smell as well. It gives me slight similarities to it, and I don't think it was meant to copy it at all. Liz does pay tribute to a lot of the older type style of perfumes, but it doesn't smell really like either of these. There are similarities in it. There's notes that are similar, but there's accords that are similar, but it's not similar to it in any other way besides the notes themselves. So yeah, just really, and then the cinnamon dies down, the myrrh comes to the top. The oak moss still is sitting there, nice and calm. The rose kind of comes out just a little bit more, but the rose comes out just a little bit, not enough, and it doesn't come out any more with the rest of the fragrance. To me, this fragrance lasts about 9 to 10 hours. The projection is honestly pretty close to the skin and pretty soft. But with a scent like this, you want it to be yourself. You want to enjoy it yourself. You know, just like how she made this to kind of, mimic the feeling of her cat. If you have an animal, you don't want your animal, to be all over everyone else. You want it to kind of be, close to you and kind of, personal to you, because, that's yours. And I know how it feels to have an animal that likes someone else more. It makes you jealous, but on paper, nothing that really lasts on paper. And the sandalwood comes out even more on here. The sandalwood comes out even more. Now, if I was spraying this, I wouldn't spray it directly on my clothes. I would kind of, at a distance, maybe, a foot and a half away from you, spray it on there. The sandalwood really comes out in it, so that's all I really have to say. If I kept on going, I'd just be babbling on, but I hope everyone enjoyed this review. I hope John Matthew enjoyed this review. And that's what I smell. So, hope everyone has a great day.